We picked it up in Shenzhen. Here we are now. We're live.
Ah,
And yeah, I love meeting more people who have more custom tailored suits in their own lives. And this is one way to signal that internally. There's a lot of custom tailoring that happens in the dojos that you offer, Cray, and a lot of the practices that I have are available across our community. And that's what has me want to bring us here today to like play more in that realm. I want to have like a whole set of friends who to have this practice just as a default way of being in their life. That would be a true gift for me to live in curated conscious community with people who have a similar shared language and being able to have the freedom of choosing whichever characters they'd like to put on moment by moment, especially when it comes to shedding older ones that feel maybe constrained for people. And that's what has me want to have this particular configuration. You, Cray, shared with me how you have it the theory of change is that this work is going to be permeated through our culture, through people who take it on like Jason or Natasha, maybe with Ellie, I'm just learning more about today. And that otherwise we don't have a lot of hope for the culture escaping velocity to produce a new norm for a society.
pretty much.
So I'm wondering how we can use this time and platform over the next hour and a half or so to evoke more of that world that you'd like to see. And I also don't know how much time Ellie will have, but basically in a more open format world where we can dance and evoke more of that from each other.
Dance. Do the thing that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. Ah, ah.
Hmm.
Oh, you are such a good boy.
Natasha, you've been witnessing for some time. I'm curious what's coming up for you. And I can also like rock more of your come from today.
Let's see. Feeling a little nervous being here again and just that, but also pleased with how Cray is rushing Ellie and
Scratching.
ratching.
Scratching.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, Ellie. I thought you were talking about the dog.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess you are scratching Ellie in some way. No. It's like refreshing to witness Cray and how he operates. Um, So I'm feeling pleased with that and his and Ellie's interaction. And then a little weird in other ways. Just like knowing that I'm on live stream and kind of uh feeling more withheld because of that.
Hmm. I've seen you show up so fully on previous live streams. I wonder if something has shifted. Hmm.
Yeah.
Potential.
Some big some big shifts that I'm still kind of rendering consciously, but I know things have happened internally. So
We
Hmm.
nod our heads.
And then what had you be yes to still showing up today, given all that?
um it's like maybe there's something to be shooken up here. I want to see Cray poke me and what comes up, even though it's a little scared of that.
You don't
I'm
want
just
me
curious.
poking you. Why don't you poke yourself? Pretend you're
Mm,
me. Ask yourself a question out loud.
mm, I'm not sure.
What are you grieving about?
Oh boy, I'm not grieving currently, but
Oh, really? What? Just a guess.
feels like my grief is under the surface right now.
Doesn't mean it's not happening.
Interesting. Grieving.
This is like Ellie going, I'm really angry. I'm really, really angry right now. Yeah, you can have something on the surface that's totally distracting you from what's happening underneath. The thing that's underneath, if you're a human being, is an active process. It's not like hitting a gong and it's just sort of reverberating. It's churning. There's thoughts and feelings and video and writing things out and thought experiments.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I
Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Natasha, would you share
Imagine,
for our context, like
imagination.
what some things have awoken for you in your life as a result of having been on previous calls?
um oh, I think I think it ignited a intimacy with someone in my life because I tried on a practice that Cray suggested to another person, and that just like opened a door for me with someone. It was like, and repeating, well, my head's not gonna explode.
Hmm.
Mm. Ooh.
I had a flash of the school marm and Ellie looking at me. I'm like, oh, she caught me typing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Really? Seriously? Oh, well.
Sophia Jean's doing some workshops here in case anyone will want to share more of her work too.
Light on or off?
It's off now.
On and off.
Oh, it's on now. That's her man. That's her boy slave in the background. Hello, Sophia Jean.
Oh, wow, there's the sound. Hi.
We're all being
Ooh.
very meditative and quiet.
Oh, delightful, my favorite. Ah!
Tea and crumpets all the way around, please.
Oh, wonderful. I'll take a cup of herbal.
Uh,
Herbal. Can't disrupt the sleep.
hello, little doggy.
Cheers.
My doggy, I think, needs some from the cold.
At some point, Ellie, I also really want you to connect with Sophia Jean for some of her work. And
Hello,
when
Ellie.
Sophia does things online too.
How do you do today?
I'm lovely. How about you?
Oh, just spiffy.
Oh, yeah, I would love to connect. I don't know what you do, but I'm curious about it.
I cut off people's heads emotionally.
Delightful.
Yes, yes. Clean work, nice clean work.
Satisfying.
Yes. Oh, immensely. People are much more satisfying without their heads.
Careful, Sophia.
That's what the English accent, it helps diffuse the situation.
I know, but it sounds like you're talking about you wanting to have your head removed. Yes.
Was that an offer?
It's been 6 years. I'm getting no closer.
That's not true, and we both know it.
That was such, that's like watching a hoop skirt move. Now, darling, please come back where the light is. Let's not go prancing around out there in the dimness. All in here with our bright lights. Nice public faces.
I love how you induce the 180s. Oh no, I'm not doing that. Quick, be dark.
No, don't. There are children present. Be nice.
Good old reverse psychology. Have you always wanted to be a mouse?
No, she wasn't talking to you, Natasha. Jesus, stop.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Alden.
I think you hear more like a jumping. Have you ever seen those kangaroo mice? That's what he reminds me of.
So darn cute. Alton, there was a period of time, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, when it seemed like you were like settling in more. It was in your tapping phase, and you were doing some things to me that felt very impressive. And I'm wondering if that phase has passed, if you've still been dabbling.
I've been trudging through some Dark Knight windows the past couple weeks,
Ah, that'll do
and
it.
having you remember that through these moments does call something out in me.
Have you been exercising?
Yeah, I could do more lifting though.
Any day now.
Any minute, any hour. Is
Thanks.
there a fortnight equivalent of like hours, like 12 or 13 hours? Like a fortnight is like 13 days. Is there like
That's
a
what it's
word for
called,
like
a
half a
fortnight.
day? I
A day?
missed it.
That's Hawaiian.
Mm.
Oh, this is the most pleasant hang with Alton. We should do Mondays more often.
I agree.
I like pleasantness.
It's the Christmas flavor in the air.
Oh yeah.
Smell the pine.
A lot of the practices more recently for me have been around how to be more pleasant in anticipation of spending time with my family and like doing the warm Mr. Rogers. Isn't that wonderful? And like, what a beautiful day and that type of frame. It's actually quite a lift for my character.
Good skill.
The alternatives, like Gray, you were mentioning this morning, were like a fish slapping someone being like, well, yeah, I kind of do wish my life was more legible to you because you wouldn't get it anyways, man. It's kind of my default.
Your dad's like, why don't you have kids? And you're like, why don't you go fuck yourself?
Yeah.
That's the one you can play in your head while you're saying, I'm very good and how are you?
Yeah. So there's some code switching costs, but it's a good stretch.
It's only code switching if you don't fully inhabit it.
Mm. Mhm.
They don't even realize there's a 30-meter board that just popped in, and if you don't pay any attention to it for a couple minutes, it'll fade. And now we're back down on ground.
Oh, the relief.
That's such a relief.
What do you think belongs on Ellie's top shelf? I notice her top shelf is empty. Usually the top shelf is the location of the best stuff.
Yeah, but you don't see that there is another shelf on top of that.
I was wondering about that. So what's in those boxes?
Those are her sex toys.
Or
Good guess.
better,
Hmm.
stationery.
Mm.
That's what's in my top shelf. Some good international stamps.
I think maybe small bottles of really exotic liqueurs would look good.
Ooh.
Or perfumes, like essential
No.
perfumes.
No. You don't want people thinking she perfumes. You want people thinking she drinks.
It's for
Oh
aromatherapy.
no. Oh, and look at how well her family has decorated their house. She
It's
has little
lovely.
Christmas ear. Oh God.
Little Christmas what?
Nothing. I thought you had little dangly thing. Oh yes. They're gold, aren't they?
They're gold. Close enough, Craig. Good job.
Yes. Good. They match your blonde hair.
It confuses me that you consider this blonde. Would you guys
It's
consider
in
this
you.
blonde?
Blonde is in your actions, not the color of your tresses.
That actually, so true, Craig.
Are those stockings on every door?
Are you stockings on our
No,
door?
those are not stockings. Those are
Are they
bows.
bows? Oh,
Oh,
very
those are
good.
bows.
The bows,
Those are large bows, yes.
large bows.
Our stockings are actually laid out on a bench right here, right now.
Mhm.
Hi.
That you can see what's in them more easily.
I don't know what the thought process was behind it, but it does make them easier to unpack. A lot of commotion going on at the moment, but hi. I don't remember if I've ever introduced myself to you. You're Sophia Jean.
I'll unpack your stockings.
Oh, wow.
I feel like that was the move. Was there a better one that I missed?
No, you did great.
Hi,
Yes.
nice to meet you.
Hi. I think in terms of repulsing Cray, that was pretty high up there. So
No, Sophia Jean
Repulsing.
does not repulse me. You repulse me. Your character repulses me.
you've mentioned once or twice.
Yes.
He wants me to bite him really badly.
I bet it
No,
would be
really
good.
well. Really well.
True.
Great. I'd like your support around dancing with how many people I'm experiencing are pushing back a lot around a lot of your work and how I can show up in a way that still leaves them either respecting it and wanting more versus like it seems like they'll often like cast out anyone who's even associated with your work. So I feel
Heretic.
yeah, I feel like oh I gotta like meet people where they're at to some extent and also like while respecting them wherever they are. I
Like
know
it's
like
you tell them seasoning is a personal choice. Some people like jalapenos. Some people like milk. Cray is very jalapenish. If you've, I mean, if you, his, go look at Trung Pa. Okay. Go look at his style. Go look at Adidas style. He's not, he comes, there's a tradition of this kind of style. Not everybody likes it. And you can say, oh, I don't like it. And then you might want to ask yourself, why do I not like this?
Does the Zoom chat connect to the Facebook chat, or is the Zoom chat private to the who is in the room?
it's only private to who's here. As far as I'm
I thought we could start a list. Why Cray isn't actually an asshole.
Oh, he is. He is.
This is the 180, Cray.
Oh, okay. What's the 180 degrees reality? Asshole, because everybody needs practice in pushing back against the nasty external authority figures.
But that's, see how he's being nice. He's helping them practice pushing back against a nasty authority figure without actually being a nasty authority figure.
I am a nasty authority figure.
Only if people choose to be in your Zoom room with you.
I'm on stage, for God's sakes. It's my stage, nom de plume. Norman hates me too. Jesus.
Oh my God, Norma, I have had 3 calls together today. We're killing the limits. We're hitting quota.
Hi, Norman.
Hello.
Aston, you should get to know Norman
Why?
because he might show you a way to get traction.
Hmm.
For action. Is that how you say your name? Justin?
Yes.
Justin.
Mm.
Bubble-headed beach blonde works just as well.
Yeah. Or Russian sex doll,
Yeah.
or airheaded bimbo, I believe are his favorite moniker for me.
And
Which
yours?
Which one's your
What are
favorite?
your
Oh,
favorites?
the softie.
I like my
We're in
name.
sync.
I like my name.
What do you like about it?
That is just mine. Hmm.
I don't think I can squiggle like that. I think I would break something.
I should probably stretch more.
Yeah, I'm very content.
Hmm.
See, now you got little baby teeth now. Little baby teeth out there.
Hmm. Well, do you want me to like rip on Alton's street? That feels
don't care.
disrespectful. But yeah, of course you don't. I do.
Yeah, I know. That's
Alton,
part of the
would you
problem.
permit Justin to do some, do you say ripping?
Yeah.
Some ripping. Just smile and nod.
Yes.
I appreciate the permissioning. If it naturally arises, I will note it. But I'm curious what it is about Norman Cray that you think would potentially help me gain traction, if you can point to something specifically.
I think he understands pleasure.
Hmm.
Why would you wait for nature?
Pleasure.
Hmm.
Why would I wait for nature? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was too late.
Yes.
I'll bring it back around. Just ignore me for now.
Hmm.
Yeah, ignore you. I guess that's ever going to happen.
You said, Justin, you said, I'll do it if it naturally arises.
Mm-hmm.
Why wait?
Because oftentimes if I force myself to do things, I end up feeling a sense of disharmony that I don't enjoy.
Like, we're going to believe that with that big smile on your face when you said that? Like, you really don't enjoy that? Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. With single eye, now double eyebrow raises. Good. Oh, and the little coquette thing, too.
Ugh.
I think Norman is aware of pleasure for pleasure's sake. He
Mm.
still tries to hang on to his romantic notions about it. But there's a part of him that's like, let's enjoy the moment for what it is. And I think that he, in all of his stylistic stuff, it's he's very clear about what he wants to do 90% of the time.
Mm.
I think that he acts out more than you do. I think that in the ways that he's flamboyant and stuff, that you could also be a lot more, his flamboyancy is your traction. Like you coming up and saying, this is going to happen because I want it to happen. And that's enough. I think that is his, when he does flamboyancy, it's the same thing to me.
Yeah, that is actually something I'm specifically desiring for myself. So.
Flamboyancy?
No. Doing things for the sake of my desire. And only
anytime soon?
We'll see.
We'll see. Oh, we have to wait for the opportunity rather than practicing so we get a better nuance on it.
I don't know how to like create desires at will. For me, desires are things that do arise.
That's why it's called a practice.
What would you like me to practice? Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're not. Any suggestions for something that I could practice to better tune into my desires? When
I'm
I'm
interested in
them?
Sophia Jean's stance on what's one thing that you would cut from Justin or each of us to make these interactions sharper in the same flavor of cutting off heads. Oh, you said something,
what are you
but
pointing
the audio
at?
wasn't.
I just said, take the right arm.
Justin, if you could put your hand on one place on your body right now that would feel good, where would you put it?
You have been at her. You have been at
I've been doing this shit
Jean's.
even before I went to her. Okay.
So
it feels pretty good.
Justin.
Yes, Craig.
Turn off the camera and then do it.
I'm in a semi-public location, but okay.
See if it's different. Ugh.
It is.
Okay, come back. Right. So did it go here? Or did you follow what you really wanted to do? That was a perfect example.
It wasn't the location of it that drastically changed. It was my experience of it for me.
Okay.
I imagine when we can see you, you still on some level think you're doing it for us.
That's why I close my eyes to try to. It's not that I think I'm doing it for you, but it's not like I'm aware, obviously, of being perceived, and that affects.
Why wouldn't you want to follow? Why wouldn't you want to out your truth in the face of people rather than doing it in a little closet? Norman has plenty of experience of this. You know, oh, I'm only going to do it with the curtains drawn and the lights turned off. I mean, you're a social being. If you want to be strong, if you want to be the thing that you think you can be, it's in the face of other people. Now, we're not churchgoers. Well, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not a churchgoer. I'm not going to think you need to go to hell. Practice. What's simpering? Ugh.
And do you like the face you make when you orgasm?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it.
What if you saw it?
Then I'd have a better answer to your question.
Oh, God.
You could feel it from the inside.
Are you asking me if I like the way I feel?
Well, if I'm following up on Norman's, it's the way your face feels.
I guess I'm not usually focused on my face. I think if I am focused on my face, there's a problem. In that moment, I mean.
Oh no, quick, someone call the police.
No, not like that. It's just that then I am aware of being perceived rather than being in my own experience to a degree that I'd like to.
Can't do both?
Apparently, I'm not a very good multitasker because not usually very well, no. Can you guys all do that easily?
Only from extended practice.
Can you do it easily, Craig?
Yes.
Obviously.
It's not obvious. You can't tell from the outside.
Oh,
Do you
wait.
practice being such an idiot, or is it this you just don't have any practice being smart?
It's all natural.
Oh, God help us.
See, Craig, that's never going to work for you, that line of insult, because you already
You
made,
think I'm trying to insult you?
or not insult, but attempted provocation.
You think that's a
Very
provocation?
far. What is it?
Really?
What is it?
It's saying, I think you're really pretty and I think you're doing really a good job at showing up as your authentic self.
What?
You didn't hear me?
No, I just don't even know what you're trying to imply. I mean, I know obviously that's not what you're doing.
I'm responding in kind.
Okay.
You think what I'm doing is idiotic, low level, not very meaningful. I'm saying, yes, I'm responding in kind.
You think that that's what I think about what you're doing?
No, that's what I'm telling you what I think about what you're doing.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, but that's not insulting.
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be a riding crop in exactly the right place. It
Which
could be,
I would,
oh my God, why don't I try following his lead for once?
yeah, I mean, that's what I meant by provocation, but
I don't want to do anything such that you think you're not a choice.
appreciate that.
Now, no. Go back to I appreciate that and let it drop into your belly and say it from there.
I appreciate that.
It's not that hard to do, but you have to consciously not want the bubbles, the champagne bubble, you have to work staying away from that. If you appreciate dark, full-bodied red wines, try to speak from that rather than champagne. I liked her vacuum cleaner. We have one of those. They're really great vacuums. Seriously.
And it's about to get loud again, so.
Love it that somebody thought to get you gold fucking cords.
Now I really wish we did the thing with Brian, Justin. It would be so fun to see how you dom.
What an idiot. Brian. I tried to set them up with a long weekend in a locked hotel room, Sophia Jean.
Classic.
Yeah.
Why no? Why didn't it take?
Because the other guy was too much of a coward. I think these two would have bitten on
Brian was a no.
it. Brian had to go visit family in Austin. Then he's going off to Nicaragua for 2 months of sun and fun.
Not bad.
Could you have actually changed his world, Justin? Do you think?
Potentially.
What an idiotic answer. Stand on it. Say yes. Doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not.
So fucking lutely I could have.
Okay, there you go.
Great. When I'm interested in the thread around manipulation and how you have it that everything is manipulation. And I noticed that that's like one of the biggest sticking points that has me have a much more difficult time just like relating with almost anybody. If that thread is always playing in the back of my mind, that everything is manipulation and it feels less personable. Wow,
How
Natasha
can it
totally
be
changed.
any different? I don't. I, to me, it's like we're always breathing. And it's like we're always manipulating. We're always choosing from a near
Yeah.
infinite amount of choices.
I get it, but there's like a lot of value in things that are remain unspoken in that while it may be like literally true, like you said, it doesn't matter if it's true. It's more about the quality of the dance. And I find that that belief consistently like waters down the quality of my dance personally, or has me more in my
That's
head if I hearing that or noticing.
that way you get to own that it's not the manipulation, but it's what they're doing or what you're feeling.
Hmm.
It's because if you say it's about the manipulation, it has nothing to do, manipulation has nothing to do with the subject material. Manipulation is shorthand for I either don't like what you're doing or I don't like what I'm feeling, or a combination of the two. I mean, there are ways that Justin, Norman, Sophia, maybe Natasha, they can manipulate you and you would be having the best time of your life. And there are times where they would be manipulating you and you'd be ready to kill somebody. It's not the manipulation, it's the where, the how, the why. So with the people around you, you're trying to get them to be more conscious about, is it, and again, the baby step, is it how I'm doing it? Is it how you believe, where you believe I'm coming from? You know, if you step into the place that it's all transactional, of course they're trying to manipulate you. Then you can focus on what you're feeling rather than the style of them manipulating you that you have so much in question of. What are you smiling at?
Enneagram stuff. I had just messaged Natasha a few seconds ago that the rejection cores, hearing them talk about how everything is transactional and everything is manipulation, tickles me for reasons that it would take me a long time to get to the layers of Enneagram theory. But then you said the second phrase directly after I said it, and I was like, ah, made me smile. It's a lens that not everyone necessarily shares to the same extent. It doesn't mean it's not true or it's true. It's just it's not necessarily as much at the forefront
Where
of
are you
people's
speaking from?
perception. Mid chest.
Justin, do you need to justify your pleasure?
Oh, subject pivot.
It's the same subject.
Yeah, just from where mind was. I'd say it's less that I feel like I need to justify my pleasure and more that I feel not cognitively, this is not something that I like am consciously affirming, but I seem to have an inborn sense of wanting to make sure that I am not harming, whatever that means, before I get in touch with my pleasure. And that's what I would like to stop because I think it's super egoic bullcrap for the most part.
Your pleasure
Practicing
is
that
dangerous?
now?
Yeah, I think I am. What was that, Norman?
Pleasure is dangerous?
Potentially, I guess.
Norman, in your ideology, do you have you have like, is it like explaining, reporting, and then is there another one?
Just
Like
being.
if explaining is like pontificating about cause and effect, and reporting is like externalizing the process.
Like allowing being with. Embodying.
Alton, I was going to ask you, I don't know if I missed this. What is manipulation to you?
The context I was referring to here with Cray was how if you do something that causes a cause and effect thing in somebody else that slightly negatively tinge, but I don't think that has how Cray is using it, where it's like done subversively or without their knowledge or their consent, um, and typically in a way that you disproportionately benefit from, um, and that frequently leaves somebody feeling like out of something or that they have been taken advantage of. Is how I see it, and I don't have it that Cray has those negative implications, but it's just more of a physics based, like you
She
manipulate.
just manipulated you, Alton.
Mhm.
She just manipulated you. She wanted something to happen in you. She wanted you to answer a question. So she structured a bunch of words and presented them in certain kinds of tones such that she thought you would respond and give her what she wanted. She manipulated you.
Mhm. To me, this is more of a pure definition of like just like the physics based layer of reality. I have it that like
That's
99% of the
way,
population uses the word manipulation with the negative tinge. And that's why I think it's a little
yes, they
confusing.
do. They do. What
Why
they're
I'm
saying is, I don't like the way you just manipulated me.
right. Well, I feel wary about the use of such broad use of a term that is 99% of the time going to be misinterpreted by the public. And I think it's important for your branding and mine in this case, because I continue to have my name associated with yours in these ways, that I clarify that and people have that distinguished so they don't conflate.
Luck.
Well, that's what has me want to share these words with you here and now.
That's fine. I'm like, I don't want to interact with the people who are going to misinterpret that.
Well, I feel allegiance to them and also to this
Yeah.
work in the world. And a lot of that's meeting people where they're at. And if we use unnecessarily laden words when other more neutral terms will do, then that does build more work for me. And
What
that's
would
what
you
has me.
recommend as the neutral equivalent?
You literally say controlling or attempts or bids for something to be different in the world.
Bids.
John Gottman's models, I think, are more legible and widely accepted.
Whose model?
John Gottman, he
Oh,
created the Love Lab and was
yeah,
able to predict with high confidence whether or not a couple would still be together in like a couple of years based off of like 30 seconds of data.
right. The bids for
Watch.
connection, gotcha.
Bids preserves a sense of agency
Mhm.
in a
So
rather
happy to be
boring way, but nonetheless.
happy to be in presence of those who will take it further, and I'll get to play my video games. Good luck, you youngins.
I mean, I think the challenge is whenever you're going to go into strange territory, like whenever you're going to try to speak to something that isn't already widely understood, people will use what they already know to make meaning of the words you use. And so even as you may be using words in new ways, they won't assume that you are, unless you already seem extremely smart and in line with what they deem to be good. And so if that's the case, then you'll have to explicitly explain what it is you mean by keywords. Like maybe we need a V2 of dojo vocabulary, for example.
Version 2, there already is a dojo vocabulary list.
I know I said yeah, V2. I agree.
I didn't know if they meant if you thought you were that somehow some part of English history in World War II slipped in there and they didn't recognize it. V2 rockets. Never mind.
I love your rocket. I would never try to keep it from going as far as possible.
So that's a lie. It's a cute one, but it's a lie.
Okay, find me.
The evidence suggests that you do have your limits.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Hmm.
Shall we break through them or
No,
reify them?
I think you're
Get them out
just
in the
fine.
open.
No,
What are my limits?
I think, we got to get a few of them chasing you really hard. Yay!
Great. I think
43 more minutes.
seems like a pretty
Yep.
cool aspect where we have people who are less charged or turned off by the language that we use, like manipulation. It's like so fraught. And I wonder, like it occurs to me that you seem almost like dismissive when you're like, well, all right, I'm glad other people are taking this on and I can go play video games. And I'm like, well, and imagine there's like a warm, receptive layer or part of you that would hear that and be like, oh, okay, let's do that instead. And I'm wondering what's in the way of you being like, oh, great, that sounds good, let's do that.
I'm supposed to be the guy out there in front. I'm the one taking point. I'm the one who's taking all the chaff. Okay? I'm leading, being the obnoxious one, the one who's the philosophical purist. So you guys can come around behind and say, oh, what he means is, yeah, he's old, he's grumpy, he's tired of the shit. But what he's here, let me show you what he means by manipulation. You
Okay,
get the halo effect. You get to
I
explain
don't know if I'm getting the halo effect. I think that I'm getting a lot more the opposite is what I'm
well
presencing.
because you're not doing it well enough. You're not saying they come up and he says, "Oh, I can't stand the way he manipulates me," and you're like, "Exactly. That's exactly the point." He's lifting you up by your gonads, what you think are your gonads, to prove that you're not your gonads.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Well, there's like a lot to be said here around still meeting people where they're at. And it occurs to me that you're running like no true Scotsman frames around like, well, it's because you didn't do a good enough job representing it. When I'm interested in like the curious towards frame around, well, how can we evoke or offer a playground for people to regularly feel seen rather than leave feeling dejected and or like frustrated. And then in this case, if you take it
Alden,
out on me, or
what if every time they came at you, you actually tapped them?
okay, I have not considered doing that, and I
Tapping is my word for when Alton interacts with someone in a way that
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
integrates.
You're using a word in a different way. What? What is this? How are people supposed to understand what you're talking about if it's a special code word that only you and Alton know about?
well, I'm okay with that. Again, it's much less negatively tinged, and will have
Yep.
much less negative reputational costs, which
Unless you're
are
a
really
maple
important.
tree. Maple tree tapping. Come on, somebody's smiling.
Oh, got it.
Jesus
What
Christ.
does it mean though? I didn't. What is
Because
it?
maple trees often get
Oh, no,
tapped.
no. Yes, it's a start. I meant what is Sophia Jean's tapping for you? What does it mean?
Maybe you can show her.
Justin, when you were here in person and you shared how much pain there was for you across the table with Jessica, and I was able to tune into that maybe for the first time. And then something shifted in our connection. There's a flavor of tapping into our shared humanity and our lived experience
Mm.
that I think it was quite rare. It's something I really enjoyed in that connection together.
So it is actually kind of like tapping a maple tree.
tapping in that context to me has more of an extractive property versus like enjoying the syrup together.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking more getting at what's inside and
Alton, when she says that, tap back.
thanks. Yeah, it's like being with like the ooey gooey parts inside.
Mm.
Oh, I mean, your face looks very ripe for being tapped.
Hmm.
I'm just making some interesting connections between your ability to tap with certain women and your refusal to ever tap with certain women.
Hmm. Yeah, it's invisible to me, or like often endemic to my character that I love your support on. If you ever notice that it's occurring to you that I'm resisting it actively. But
Almost
like
always.
Sophia Jean just invited me. I'm like, oh, yes.
You're almost always resisting it though.
And honestly, Norman, I don't know that like the incident that Alton's referring to, well, I'm pretty confident it would not have happened if not for the presence of the other woman who was able to sort of mediate. That was the impression I was getting, was that there wasn't going to be able to be that connection. And I was very grateful for it when it happened, but I didn't feel capable of getting there on my own.
Why do you think I don't even know if I can open it that way. Why do you think people are no, I can't do it. Why do you think people are more concerned with what the word means than how it lands inside of them? I don't know if I did it. If anyone tried to explain something to me in response, I would have failed.
Hmm.
Norman, which portals are you going for today, huh?
Okay.
Oh, that one?
That was more fun.
Mhm. It's so tricky. It's so tricky.
What is?
Oh, well, like, you know, when Cray's being all annoying to you. And there's so much of you that's like, oh, like, why is he being so annoying? Or like, if only you were nice, I could get where he wanted me to get faster. But also, like, that's the whole point. The whole point is like, how do you not let anything like that distract you? How do you wear away all of the reactivity to that so you can remain in contact with something that would be really amazing?
What? No. Go back. What is that, Justin?
The like 15 10 seconds ago,
Yeah.
when she was saying, I was wondering if you were describing
Yes.
my particular experience with Cray and what you think is happening internally to me when I'm interacting with Cray, because it didn't resonate for me with what I think and what I feel and what I was experiencing. So that's what that face was.
What are you thinking and feeling and experiencing?
Like I'd have to be pretty stupid to not understand that you being nice to me, it would be sort of a complete workaround of, yes, what the process is.
So I don't care about that. I don't care all the knots and all the other things. What are you feeling?
Not thinking.
You said it wasn't what she was saying.
Yes. Are you asking what I'm feeling right now or more in our dynamic?
In our dynamic.
Frustrated with myself most of the time
Because
I feel my inability to just break through the resistance that I have. And
resistance about what? If you have resistance to something, that means that something's there. You're having an experience and your editor says no, and you're still fighting the editor,
yes.
rather than outing the experience.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
One more time.
Mm. Okay. That's helpful to me. I can like tune into that.
Yeah, but you're not going to do anything.
I'm
You're
literally
just going to
doing it right
describe it.
now. For me, it's
Do
an
it.
energetic shift.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling the part
Over here, open your eyes.
of
Yeah, that. What are you feeling?
I'm getting more in touch. I'm feeling fire.
Like candle flame, like butane
No,
torch.
no. It's just more of like a furnace.
Yeah, right. Oh, a furnace, like a gas powered or a oil powered furnace, the big mechanical iron thing. That's what you're feeling, really? IQs are points are dropping by the second. What are you feeling? I'm feeling like a Ford Chevy. That's what I'm feeling.
Would you like an emotion word?
I don't care. I'm just demonstrating how inane your responses are and how untuned in they are to you as a human being.
See, it's so hard because I
So
feel
now Sophia Jean knows exactly what you're feeling. She's been in that place or very near to that many, many times, and she learned to stop fighting it so hard.
it's hard. The resistance is so automatic.
Oh, now you're going to talk about the resistance instead of the thing itself. Do you know how to spell inane? Jastyn. Why don't you go try to find Santa Claus?
What?
That's cookies. Why don't you go do some other childish activity? What are you feeling? I feel like a big piece of steel used to heat houses. That's not actually a feeling, you know. I feel like a furnace.
No, I meant the fire within a furnace. Not that
Oh,
I
the
feel like
fire.
a
You
furnace.
actually feel like you're burning? Like you should go to the hospital?
Yes.
Fire isn't actually an emotion.
You didn't ask for an emotion. You asked how I was feeling, which can include some
You're not feeling fire, believe me.
Yes.
You might be feeling fiery.
Yeah, the feeling that I was tapping into when you said, what is that thing? I was
Yep.
trying to describe it as that thing to me that was swirling, which I'm clearly not very in touch with right now. But that when you see
Fire.
it, when I have the moments
You're right there.
I
Yep, right there. Right there. Yeah. Yeah.
I love how alive
How
you
does it
are.
feel? Yeah. How does it feel to be put in a place like this by a superior dancer that you can't get away from and you can't negate? Say freeing, would you?
but it doesn't feel freeing. It feels frustrating as shit because it feels
Yeah,
like
you're frustrated because of your inanity, that you can't do this with yourself, that it takes some old freaking idiot to push you into a corner and say, there's only one way out.
I am frustrated that you're pushing. My normal response to people pushing me is to say, absolutely fucking not. I will not move. Whatever it is you want me to
Then
do, I'm not going to do it.
what are you feeling that feels so goddamn good that you're not doing that?
I'm trying to fight the urge in myself. And it's getting to the point where I'm like,
Ooh, that was a good part. So what's in that cup? You
nothing that's
just
as
breathed a
strong as I
whole
would
lot of
like it.
something in there.
Nothing that's as strong as I would like it to be.
Yeah, but did you hear the sound you made as you were in it? Delish. That's
Believe
fair.
it or not, Justin, Norman really likes the flavor of this. Sophia loves the flavor of this. I appreciate the flavor of this. Alton says, I really need to get to know about this more. Instead of shaking your head, nod it. This is exactly where you want to be. This is the place where speaking and being your truth is a hell of a lot easier. And it's a place that you probably don't want to take back out into your nice little family traditional Christmas party.
They've seen more of it than anyone else. And you're correct.
Not that bad. It was only 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Looks good.
It's good for
You
me
look
to.
confused, Norman.
Now she looks like she's in the fire.
Oh, were you waiting?
Slow burn, slow burn.
Alton,
Mhm.
all you have to do is point them at that 5-minute video clip of her doing that.
Okay. I hear you.
Now you got to figure out some way to do that and some way to describe that, some way to philosophize about it. What are you doing, Justin?
Oh. Turning off the sound because people are arriving for festivities.
Okay.
Other than that, I was marinating on the feelings that have been
Marinating.
soaked. Yes.
No, you were not. You were actively engaged with something. You weren't just marinating like a piece of meat sitting in a liquid. Nice try.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I meant marinating in terms of getting into deeper contact with the flavor of and sensation of and like wanting to remember it.
Okay. You need to go and greet your guest and go put your public face on it. Smile. It's Christmas time. You have a social function to perform. It's okay.
Justin, when's the last time you smelled your own fart?
15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, did you mean like that I don't know, probably whatever I could not tell you, Norman. Why? Recently, I'm sure.
You remember it? The smell?
Only if I eat something I'm allergic to or intolerant of, whatever. Why?
What happens when you hear someone fart?
depends on what kind of fart it is.
Is
What
she
about-
going where you want her to go, Norman?
I have no idea where you're wanting me to go.
Like a
Is she going where you want her to go, Norman?
no, she's not.
You
Well,
want me
then
to fill the
try
person?
something different, you idiot. So,
Oh no, you
Justin,
might have to expose yourself.
Justin,
Yes, Gray.
I'm being the Jewish grandmother. You need to go put some decent clothes on or splash some water on your face or take a cold shower. You have people arriving
Yes.
that I don't think are used to seeing a JFL on you.
Oh, a JFL?
Just fucked look.
Oh, okay. Um, sure. Yes, I'm getting distracted anyway. So I will allow you guys to go finish
Oh, thank you.
without me. Yes, you're welcome. The social hostess has returned. But okay,
Cold water.
that was fun. Thank you.
I have to go let my doggy into the rest of the house. That's not a euphemism, Norman.
Unfortunately.
Norman, why don't you?
I don't know what that would look like right now.
I imagine it would look more like a soft touch.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really don't have any idea why you went that direction.
Because it was fun for me.
No, it wasn't. Not in a way that's oriented. It's ridiculing. I understand that there's a part of your character that has a pleasure in doing that. But that was like you could take a Pyrex dish, put it in the freezer for a while, and then put it on a hot stove and it will shatter. That's what it looked like you were doing.
Hmm.
Like you were almost jealous of where she was.
Hmm.
And you needed to bring her out. Because I think that
Suggest as a translator function for Norman?
Hmm?
What would you suggest as a translation function for Norman instead?
I think that that's sort of languid fullness. That's not the way to express it, but it's something for you, and that's something to practice getting to. There would be no campiness in it at all.
Hmm.
Can we zoom out more to like help me understand how does this work exist beyond our personalities here? Like what void does this fill in the world so I can ground into that bigger mind stance of this work?
It's the stuff that you're pushing away out of a reaction to being afraid of it for yourself, wanting it and being afraid of it. That's how I would put it in this particular instance. That a lot of us tend to push away or to take people out of experiences that we're jealous of.
And what's the cost of not practicing this?
One is that one is that you're jolting somebody else and they're like, I don't understand what's happening. And they're being bounced, further up the chain up until they get back into their brains. Because that's the only way that most polite people, the impolite people are just going to punch you. The impolite people, they don't understand. It's like discordant, and so they elevate back up into their heads. And Norman's like, "Oh, you're back in your head. That's where I am most of the time."
I see.
How does Norman learn to dance there with her? You okay,
Beautiful.
Sophia Jean?
Hmm?
You okay?
Yes.
What's happening for you, Sophia Jean? You seem full
Mhm.
and tender.
It's just, it's like when you feel it, the answer is obvious. Like what you're missing is so obvious. And to try to explain that to someone,
Mm.
but usually they can feel it, but they don't always know what to do with it or how to get there.
Like if we were in person and he had said if I had even seen him getting close to the fart comp, I would have said, "Come over here, Norman. Put your hand on her belly.
Mm.
Put your other hand on her mid chest. Now I want you to feel the connection that's between your hand on her belly and her hand on her heart."
Mm. I think the move that you two are pointing to that's absent so far in my vocabulary is the like meeting someone softly um, for connection. And that's not a move I think I practice enough of. It's so much more familiar to like throw someone into like a bounce house or to stab them and then
Mm-hmm.
That's
rec
the manipulation.
yeah. So I'm like, ooh, queasy.
I
I
think
know.
the part where the manipulation makes sense is that when you notice that most of the manipulation is happening like for the worse, like
Like
you're
lead to an outcome.
reactively throwing people into the bounce house and you could be connecting deeply with them, which might be much more interesting. But that's why, like,
Possibly, could possibly in the realm of possibilities.
They do some calculations. Hmm.
I think it's very confronting to take on the perspective that most of what I'm doing is unconscious manipulation or even conscious manipulation.
It's, it's all manipulation. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, there's some part of you that's making a choice. I mean, for me, once you see that and you look at it, you can't find an exception to this. It's like it's real. It's forever. As a human being, it's always transactional and it's always manipulation. There's no other way it can be. Now, granted, we may have to speak to the muggles in a different language, but here on the inner circle and with the Facebook crowd, this is what human beings do. It's okay. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, you could with equal accuracy say cause and effect.
Careful, girlfriend. You're treading in some things that had many a Buddhist commit seppuku, suicide.
I think I'm through that phase. Although you never know, I guess.
Mm.
I never know what you mean when you say careful.
Be attentive.
And why be attentive about using the words cause and effect?
If you
Compared to, for example, the words manipulation and transactionality.
I don't there's in my story making, if you start looking at cause and effect, you start shaving it, it gets really trippy, really, really fast. And it's a slippery slope, and it can
More slippery than manipulation and transactionality? Because it's
yeah, that
broader?
no, because it's more unknown.
Oh yeah. You you hmm, hmm.
Careful.
I'm done.
I
I
think
finished
I've
my examination.
yes. This is the guy who's gotten lost between the stars a few times. So it's not fun. It wasn't fun for me. So I project that onto other people. Don't go traveling between the stars. It's uncomfortable. There's not a lot of payback, not a lot of profitability. You hear some strange things.
Pain?
No, it's tenuosity,
Yeah.
how fragile the web really is. It's like if you actually sit down and you go, wait a minute, humans are just a string of memes. That's all we are, is we're a bunch of memes stuck together. If you take one out, you can put another one in there.
Hmm.
All this importance.
I can see how it would keep people out of dark nights.
To me, it sends them exactly into darkness.
No, your approach would be more likely to keep people out of dark nights. You keep it from
Yeah.
being like fundamentally existential, and you keep it within the
Yep.
realm of relationships.
Just be human.
Your life.
Mm-hmm.
Break all of the frames besides that one.
Yep. Bend them. You look lovely tonight, dear.
Bend them.
Alton enjoys seeing the more tender, softer sides of you.
Hey everyone, I love when you get to see. I love when I'm willing to show you the more tender, soft parts of me. Often seeing you do that, I feel a budding sense of permission, like I could too.
Mm.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh,
The high priestess strikes again.
no.
He's below me.
Oh,
Visually.
no. In so many ways.
Snark. Snark.
Do you like playing with bladers, Sophia Jean?
I like this one.
Mm-hmm. He's gorgeous, isn't he?
It's fucking gorgeous. Spark, softness.
Soft.
I enjoy Sophia Jean wandering in some of the trails that your map has shown.
Too flowery.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I enjoy walking into the unknown.
How about this?
Ooh.
Ah. Not in that direction.
I could have gone the campy flamboyant route, but I didn't.
Playing it off.
I did it already.
Playing it off again. Oh, I think I kind of liked that.
It's fun the way you press my buttons. What's that face, Gray?
I like what I get to feel. That would be a classic Cray line.
I I think you like the way she scratches. I don't think is as clinical as button pressing.
It's like there's a certain pleasure in the blade grazing my skin, but not puncturing. It's like just its presence is like, ooh.
So granted, take the edge of the back edge of a knife, press it against your flesh, see what that feels like. Then take your fingernail and do the same distance. I think that you'll find that what she's doing right now isn't very blady. She's trying to be, in my world, she's trying to connect with you more on a human level.
Mm. Mm. Woo.
You're above me. Visually.
I don't know why the first fucking thought story that came to mind was like, I don't feel worthy.
No, stop that. Just say the first thought story that came to mind was.
The first thought story that came to mind was, I'm not worthy.
Yeah. So just feel that. It's a totally normal human thing.
Mm.
And if Sophia Jean is listening, she understands how highly you think of her.
Whew.
If Norman is listening, he'll know. I would love to eat that for breakfast.
So, Norman, you have to be really cautious because if you two get in real life, she may very well overwhelm you. Not from
Pattern break 2025, February 7th
I
through
have
9th.
the Google form open. I already have it
California.
open.
Norman came for the previous workshop just for the last day, the
Because
final day.
because Cray challenged me to, and it was beautiful. I'm so glad.
Maybe you will challenge yourself next time.
Hmm.
He was sitting in his car eating some takeout when I walked up and I tapped on his car window.
Of course you did.
And my piece of shit son.
The golden
If
moment.
two,
I still remember you looking up.
I belong here. And then I had the same conversation like days later with Alton. He's like, yeah, you always have a seat at the table here. And I was like,
You guys have a chance. You get two blades when they meet, they have a chance to be soft, to be non-blades.
"Mm."
I really like the frame around having more bladers to play with, and it's very lyric. Thanks for putting words to that.
Stop it.
It's so cool to learn how to sharpen and soften at the same time.
I found that many of the ways I've learned to soften is to rub up against sharp edges, and I'm glad I get to do that in connection with you.
Mm.
Softness has a unique
Alton,
set of cause and effect.
Alton,
Mhm.
rub up against her softness. And see if you can stay human and see if you can keep her human.
Can you give me
Ooh,
some?
look at that. What?
Can you give me some training wheels here or scaffold here?
Whenever you're walking about with her, hold her hand. Learn to relax. If at first it'll be sharp, it'll be an edge. And then you should soften into it and become human to human rather than edge to edge, soft to soft. Hmm. Yay! One more minute. Yay! I'm on vacation.
What a spa of a stream.
Spa of a stream?
Yeah, that was way uh this today's live stream was like a spa compared to the usual battleground.
It was the battleground earlier.
Maybe I just wasn't caught in the crosshairs.
I
Or
have
the
it that
shots
spa
don't,
will
the
open
shots
more
don't
the
hit you
people I'd like
anymore.
up.
What? One at a time, guys.
The shots maybe just don't land on you anymore.
Hmm.
I'd like more of these to
Um,
be oriented towards more as like a relational spa that helps open people up in tender ways that they may not have realized that they have always been there. Wow, look at
your
that cray face.
shots land every time.
Mm.
Okay, peeps.
Thanks.
Happy holidays or happy whatever it is for you. And yeah, there you
Thanks,
go.
y'all.
There. Yay,
Yeah.
Norman.
Thank you.